Hi, I'm going to tell you how I play the foot soldier on Main Street. And that is because I feel like I have some pretty useful spots that you can use to get tons of kills and stuff. But you, of course, want. In the gameplay in the background, you're seeing me playing with a normal foot soldier that does 9 damage at a close range, 7 at long range, has 35 bullets, has a pretty fast rate of fire, and also has pretty high projectile speed, which, of course, it's good to have high projectile speed. But it's not my favorite soldier, and it is because all the Gatling soldiers with machine guns and stuff, they have the crosshairs in the middle. They go apart the longer you. They go more and more apart the longer you fire. So the last few shots in your ammo clip don't even go closely to where you aim, and it just makes it pretty hard to snipe with it. And also, each shots do pretty low damage. It's not too painful to miss a little bit, but since if you miss a lot, it can be pretty painful because you're losing out a lot of damage. All the foot soldiers, except for maybe the tank commander, have pretty high damage per second. So it definitely hurts to miss all the shells. And on the first garden, the spot I use is behind this wall. And it is because you can shoot into the garden, of course. And you also get quite a bit of cover. And I like that. But now I'm going to talk about the soldier classes. My least favorite soldier class would have to be General Supremo. It just doesn't fit my playstyle at all. The reason is because the crosshairs that you see in the middle of the screen, they go apart a lot. So basically, you're just really inaccurate. The first few shots before you overheat are pretty accurate, but the last ones are so inaccurate. You cannot snipe with it at all. And you'll even struggle a little bit at medium range. So you have to go a short range with all the chompers, and you're just gonna die a lot. But it has, and the weapon itself does 7 damage at close range, a short range I think. It has a slightly increased fire rate over the normal foot soldier. And it has no ammo, so... Well, it has ammo, but it has infinite ammo, so you don't have to reload the clip. And I think after 60 shots it overheats or something around there. And the overheat time is pretty long. So, it's definitely not worth... So you should definitely not hold down the trigger till it overheats with that thing. Because the overheat time is like 6 seconds. It's like 4 seconds, I think, around there. Roughly 4 seconds. So, play aggressive with it. Use your rocket leap. And use your super zombie sting clouds and BGs. You might be able to do a little bit while. My second to least favorite soldier would probably have to be the Arctic Trooper. It uses the frozen C1 assault blaster, which basically is the same as the C1 assault blaster, just that it fires frozen ammo instead of normal sawnbot pellets. And it has 5 less ammo, same rate of fire, 1 less damage at all ranges, or it might be 2 less damage at long range. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know. But, so the damage is not great. It doesn't have a lot of ammo. The fire rate is the same as the soldier, the normal one, but it freezes. But I still don't think that it's worth removing the 5 ammo and decreasing the damage just for a little freezing effect. And that freezing effect is not even very useful at all. it feels like it almost takes an entire clip just to freeze someone. So by the time it might take like 20 shots or something. I'm not sure about that. But it feels like, yeah, I know it is, like, when he's frozen, he's either dead or you're reloading when he gets frozen. It's just completely useless. And you might as well just have the extra ammo and have a more and increased damage. And to me, it's pretty useless. And this game also gets tons of assists, and the Arctic Trooper gets even more assists, so it's just not a class I like. And the third least useful would probably have to be the Tank Commander. I know in certain situations it can be quite useful, but it's mostly just bullshit. It does 70 damage for a headshot, and it has 1 ammo, and that's a close range. 70 damage on close range, 45 at long range. It has 1 ammo. The reload time is roughly 2 seconds. And the projectile speed is low. It's very slow, yeah. It's slightly faster than the pea shooter's projectile. And so to play the Tank Commander effectively, you definitely got to have Rocket Leap just to get into the planet's face and derp them. So what you should play. You could play long range and just bombard them with huge rockets. That works as well, but if you want to play long range, I feel like you should just play the Camo Ranger instead. So, close range thing is the way to use it. So the next one that I think, is the fourth least useful would have to be the the Centurion. It's not that bad. It's at least usable, but seriously, it does 8 damage at long range for a body shot, and it fires slightly slower. The Camo Ranger that does 17 damage for actually 14 damage for a body shot at long range. For a headshot, the Centurion does 10 and the Camo Ranger does 17. Just to get a fire effect, losing a little bit of a fire rate and also losing tons of damage is just not worth it. And I don't remember how much ammo it has. It's roughly 15. And reload time is medium, I think. It's not too long. But it just doesn't do enough damage for me. And the one after that would, in my opinion, be the Sky Trooper. The Sky Trooper does the same amount of damage as the Arctic Trooper at close range. It does either the same at long range or 1 less. It depends on how much damage the Arctic Trooper does on long range, if it's 5 or 6, because I don't know that. And it has an increased fire rate over. It probably is either the same as the General Suprema or slightly faster. It has the best damage per second of all the foot soldiers. So the damage at long range is just too low. Unless you hit almost all your shots, you're not even gonna kill a planet with 1 clip at long range. So you have to use Rocket Leap to get close to the enemy, just so you can use your insane damage per second. to burst down the enemy. So if you like being aggressive in your soldiers, you should probably try out the Sky Trooper. And in my opinion, the one after that one would probably have to be the normal foot soldier. The reason is, I've already told it gets too many assists, and it's just not good enough at long range. And it has 35 ammo, 7 damage. I've already told you that. And 9 at close range, of course. The one after that would, in my opinion, have to be the Camo Ranger. Camo Ranger and Super Commando are, well, almost as good. The Camo Ranger is the one that long range players should use, and the Super Commando is the one that aggressive players should use. The Camo Ranger does 19 damage at short range for a headshot, and has pretty good fire rate, so it has, I think, slightly worse damage per second than the normal foot soldier, but it's still very, very good damage per second. So you're able to burst on your enemy very quickly, and you're able to do long range effectively. It's not bad at short range. In my opinion, it just does everything well. It has some good damage per shot, and it also has a good fire rate, some good damage per second, and it also can do long range. So in my opinion, it just can do everything. It can do everything almost. And the Super Commando, well, I'm not saying that the Camo Ranger is bad at short range. It can do it, but it's better to do long range or long slash mid range with it. And the Super Commando is my favorite because it does 22 damage at short range with half a second reload roughly, with 4 ammo per clip. So that at short range, that is 88 damage per clip, and all the shots get fired with one click of a trigger. So it's a 4 burst weapon. The damage per second of a Super Commando is not amazing, but it's not bad either. The thing about the Super Commando that I like so much is that while you're reloading, if you kill someone and you're reloading, of course, you're always reloading after you kill someone, then you have time to switch to another target while you're reloading. So a lot of the time, that reload time doesn't really matter too much. So damage per second to me feels better than what it is. And also, at short range, you're able to clip chompers, because 88 plus 88 equals 176, and that's 1 health more than the standard chompers, such as the fire chomper, normal one, toxic, electric, all those. So if you're an aimbot or you're very good at aiming, you can kill chompers very quickly, which I like. So, and also another thing that's good about the Super Commando is that if an opponent just sticks his head out and ducks right back into cover, you are able to put 60 damage into him. And unless you're a tank commander, all the other soldiers cannot do that. So if opponents just pop around corners, you can really punish them by taking away almost half their health. So that's all the soldiers. If you're a sniper, use the Camo Ranger. If you're aggressive, use the Sky Trooper or the Super Commando. And I've actually forgotten to tell you about why I chose the different spots for each garden. for the first few. So I'm going to put that in the description, just if you wonder. But this one is... I like this one because you're able to get a really close... because you're able to get a short range by standing by these cacti right there. Bandmate and Tank Commander, Super Commando, Engineers, All-Stars are just amazing here. You're going to do very well. Also, Sky Trooper's pretty good here as well. And I just really like this spot. It's just this is probably the garden I get the most vanquishes on out of all the gardens. And most of the time, the plants, while they're coming through that entrance door right there, they look straightforward. So you're probably you're probably halfway to destroying them just before they notice you. So, unless that person has very good reactions, you're going to kill him almost before he notices you. And I really like that. And this next spot is... I tried to go to this spot, but I got killed on the way. But you'll see it soon. And don't want to mess with chompers, get away from those. And it's also nice with his teammates killing chompers as well. Because when they're messing with their teammates, they are not going to... You're going to get a free kill, basically. And here's the spot I like. And the reason I like it is because most people don't even look in these bushes. So, most of the time you're not even going to get shot at. And also you're able to shoot almost everywhere. You're going to get a lot of kills in a Camo Ranger, Super Commando, something like that here, but it's not the best normal foot soldier spot. Or Sky Trooper, for example. Or Arctic Trooper. Before the foot soldiers, I can do long range pretty alright. And no, the Super Commando can not only do short range and medium range, it can snipe as well. This is not like the other foot soldiers where it's just super inaccurate. So this garden is super easy to capture. Just the distance between this one and the garden before is quite small. And the teleporters are almost completely useless. That's how short it is. And also the main event here it's amazing to do stuff like All-Stars, Super Commando, Sky Trooper, and it's all because inside of that tackle cuke thing, the rocket you see had, you're forced to play close range because there's lots of corners, and it's basically impossible to do long range, and it's barely even possible to do medium range. Towards the end here, the plans got some pretty good players, so we actually fail on this end event. So unfortunately, I'm not able to show you how I play in the end event. Or at least I can halfway show it. So I usually go up the left flank. Here, never through the open field, never through the right side, because I feel like the left side has the most cover, and that's why I like it the most. Like 90% of the time I go up the left flank. And that ADP up there is one of the new good players right there. And usually, by 2 minutes, your team has almost destroyed all the core mortars. It's usually a really bad idea to go to go into the tactical cube rocket thing ahead of me, but you can very clearly see before the corners are destroyed, because your team will, as you can see, there are quite a bit of players shooting them, and if you go in before they are destroyed, you'll mostly go in alone, and you're just gonna get overwhelmed and die. So I usually destroy those, so my team will actually go in and plant the bombs. I simply don't like going in alone. Well, sometimes I don't like going with teammates either, because they just sit there kill stealing everything, but it's better to have teammates kill stealing than you dying a lot. And usually by 3 minutes your team would have broken through the plants' frontal defense, but we haven't. It's all because of those 3 good players that joined towards the end. And thanks to that sunflower, he gave me a kill by walking in front of my gun. I didn't even purposely kill him. He just walked in front of my gun and basically gave me a free kill. Pretty generous. I don't think he meant to be generous, but it doesn't matter to me. And usually by now, it's very safe to go through the open field, because there are no core mortars left, and usually quite a few planes shooting from the entrance to the tactical cube rocket thing down the open field. Usually not very many players that do that this late. They're usually backed into a rocket. And everyone who goes past this entrance and enter this little central building just get raped. Yeah, you're not winning. And very soon you're going to get a perfect example of what I use my super zombie sting cloud for. And always get away from doom shrooms. And right there I actually reloaded the gun, but it still kept the same ammo as what I had before, and that's what I used it for. I just throw it at low health plants. But we lost, and you'll see which players it was that actually stopped us towards the end. And you'll also see how many assists I got and why I do not like the Gatling soldiers, or machine gun soldiers if you want. $54 vanquishes, a 34 vanquish streak, and 43 assists. That's a lot. But anyway, hope you learned something. And yeah, video's over now. You can do something else by